let's go ahead, get to our Big 12 quarterback tier list. Now, we're going to do this live for you guys, okay? So let us know in the comments if you think that we're getting it right. Where do you want to start on this list, Eric?
I think we got to start with the carryovers to the Big 12. So let's rank, or the new ones. So
the Pac-12
let's
schools
rank
coming
the
to the Big
Pac-12
12
schools coming to the Big 12. Then let's fill in the rest.
Okay, let's start with Utah. Utah, I think, one of the best teams. I mean, year over year in the Pac, and you're getting Cameron Rising back. Cameron Rising was set to be probably a top 4 quarterback in the Pac this past season. And when we're talking about top 4 quarterbacks in the Pac last season, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., Bo Nix. All 3 of those guys you throw in the S tier, right?
I think so.
I think Cam Rising is an S tier quarterback.
I think comparatively in the Big 12, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think he's probably proven the most.
I think he's proven the most out of those guys. And I'm super excited to see Cam Rising back at Utah for one final season, even though it feels like he's been there for as long as I've been alive. He's got just this year of eligibility left, but we'll see what he's able to accomplish there. But yeah, Cam Rising, S tier. Let's go ahead. Let's do Colorado. Shedeur Sanders.
This is interesting. I'm curious to see where you go with this.
This is tough because if we're setting the standard that Cam Rising is the peak of quarterbacks in the Big 12, Shedeur I don't think is too far off that. Okay,
Shedeur is really good. He's really good. I don't think he's great.
I don't
think he's really good.
Cam Rising.
No, I don't think.
And there are going to be people that hate that. There are going to be people that want Shedeur at S and they want Cam at A.
He might be a better pro prospect than Cam Rising, but I don't know if he's right now.
Where would you put him?
If he's in S, I think he's bottom tier S. I think as I look at it now, I'm going to put him top of A, and then maybe at the end revisit all of this. And if he doesn't feel right in A, I'd bump him up to the end of S.
This is what I'm going to do. Let's put Shedeur in the S tier.
Okay.
And that's going to surprise some people. I know it is. People that know that I disagree with everything that is Colorado. I think Shedeur is a good quarterback, and I think he's an S tier. The reason I'm going to say he's an S tier is because of who we're about to put in the A tier. Noah Fifita.
Yeah.
Arizona Wildcats quarterback.
I was wondering if you're going to go A.
He's an A tier quarterback. As much as it hurts, I know Mike Luke and Damon Dog and Saul Bookman, they're going to get their fair share of laughs at this. But I think Noah Fifita going into next season definitely has the potential to go out there and be an S tier quarterback in the Big 12. But my only concerns with Noah is that he is a little bit smaller, right? 5'11", which I think, everybody that is listed at 5'11", and everybody that's listed at 6 foot is actually 2 inches shorter than that. So I'm taking that with a grain of salt. Noah Fifita is a smaller quarterback that when you get to the Big 12, there are some bigger defensive lines. We'll see what he's capable of doing. But last season, nearly 3,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns, 6 INTs, and he wasn't even the starter going into the season. Hell of a year for Noah Fifita.
I'm on ESPN right now, and it just kind of hit me because I'm scrolling through the teams, and I see the Big 12 and ASU and U of A and Colorado are there, and then right next to it in the Pac-12, it's just 2 teams.
It's weird,
and
man.
I don't know why, but that's really throwing me off right now.
It's weird.
That's really throwing me off. But I mean, I don't think you can argue with the season that he had. I mean, coming into the season, he wasn't even guaranteed to be their quarterback.
Yeah.
And now he's definitely cemented himself in there. And as we've said, among the top of the Big 12. If it wasn't U of A, I'd be excited to see him play next season.
Let's not go ASU here.
Okay.
Let's wait for ASU at the end.
Where do you want to go next? You lead the way. You steer the ship.
Let's go with Avery Johnson. Avery Johnson set to be the next Kansas State quarterback, from my understanding, after they lost Will Howard. Avery Johnson, he's the one that played in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Okay.
So he has big game experience.
Big game experience. They got a dub. Okay. 14 of 31, a $178, 2 tutties, no INTs, 6'2", $190, normal size for a quarterback. Again, my only concern with him is his only real college experience that isn't a blowout is that Pop-Tart Bowl. Can he take over at Kansas State? Can he be that guy? I don't know yet. I'm going to put Avery Johnson in the C tier of quarterbacks.
Yeah, I don't think that for somebody as unknown as this, you can put them in D.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't think you can go higher than C. I think that's a good call. He could, like, I think he's one of the guys that has kind of room
Yeah.
to improve, and he could probably find himself in B or A if he can really put together like a competent season.
Yeah.
Because his numbers aren't terrible in the season. He just
No.
didn't play a lot.
And then, Eric, can you do me a favor?
What's
Just
that?
because I feel like I'm colorblind here. You should be able to go down to change background color. Yeah. See where it says, yeah. And we'll go white. I think white will make it just, some of those logos will pop a little bit more. There we go. Boom.
And by the way, this little black square right here,
that's Cincinnati.
that is Cincinnati. Their logo is black and the website is black.
Oh, my
so
goodness.
that is Cincinnati. But yep, we changed it. We're good. If you're on audio right now, you might want to just head over to video for this part of it if you're listening back, just to have a nice visual element with this. But we appreciate you tuning in on audio. And if you just want to hang in with the craziness, just give us 5 stars and chill. It'll be fun.
Let's go ahead and do BYU next.
Okay.
BYU
what are you thinking?
Is a little bit of an interesting situation. From what I can see, it is going to be a quarterback competition. 3
when
quarterbacks.
Jacob Conover goes back?
Well, they got Trayson Bourget over there.
Oh, do they?
They do. They have Trenton and Coben's brother, Trayson, that transferred there. So heading into the spring, Trayson, Noah Lugo, and Jerry Bohannon, I think is his name. Those are going to be the guys fighting for that quarterback spot. Again, none of these quarterbacks that are headed to BYU or that are really already at BYU really give me any sort of confidence outside of Jerry. Okay, so he was a former Baylor and USF quarterback. He's a 7th-year senior. Okay,
Oof.
7th-year senior. He's thrown for over 3,400 yards and 26 touchdowns during his career, but he's also a runner. He's rushed for over 1,000 in his career. With that said, I don't have a lot of confidence in really any of those guys, given the fact that they haven't been proven starters throughout their time. I'm between C and D here, Eric. What are you thinking?
7th-year senior has it tough for me to go D, because
he's got experience.
A 7th-year, get a job. I'm sorry, get a job, get a job, bro.
Be an adult, dude.
Like 7th-year senior it's just kind of nuts to me, because we're looking at like ASU's quarterback. And we're like, oh,
they're freshmen.
They're freshmen, sophomore. And this guy could be in like accounting right now, working his way up to a CFO job. Like, he could be halfway there by now.
This guy is 7th year. I was 19 when he entered college football.
Oh my God.
That's ridiculous to me. So see,
that would be like if I was still like, because that means I was I was a freshman. He was a freshman in college when I was a freshman in college. I've been graduated for multiple years, and this man is still playing college football. I'm all for giving people opportunities, especially through COVID and through injury and all of that. But the words 7th-year senior in college football, I hope he has a degree.
Yeah.
I hope he has
he's
a
on.
degree.
He's about to have 2.
He's
He's about to have 2. Let's go ahead and put BYU at C.
C just because we might revisit and put it. I might have to go D just because it is a 7th-year senior, not because of the actual on paper quarterbacking, but just for the process of being a 7th-year senior. But we'll go C and maybe revisit it at the end.
Okay, we can do TCU next. TCU, Chandler Morris. Chandler Morris last season. It's crazy that he's listed as a sophomore. I think he's a rising junior, but he's been playing college football since 2020. He's been on a team and, again, only, I guess, classifies as a sophomore rising junior. In 2023, completed 65% of his passes, only threw for about 1,500 yards. 12 touchdowns, 5 INTs. I mean, it's weird looking at some of these guys' numbers, because I'll be honest with you, in November when they beat Baylor 42-17, he only completed 2 passes. Whether he was benched or got injured, I'm not sure. But he has games against Houston where he throws for 300 yards. Like, he's just a super inconsistent quarterback. I think if anything for TCU, the fact that you're getting a quarterback to return is huge. But I'm still not confident enough in Chandler Morris to say that he is a B. I think I'm going to put him in C as well.
Let's make it so they're in order in each tier. Where in C, with Kansas State and BYU, would you put Chandler Morris and TCU?
Probably the top of the C tier.
I was thinking top of C tier just because it's returning, and he does have some on-field resume to put out there, and he's not a 7th-year senior, so he has that going for him.
Man, you and
the
7th-year senior.
I don't know, just something
really
irks me about that. I don't know why.
That's fair. Okay. We can go ahead and do Kansas. Jalen Daniels next.
You mean the Heisman?
Jalen Daniels, not Jaden Daniels, to be confused. Another guy listed, I believe he'll be a rising senior at Kansas this year. 6 foot, 215 in 2023, threw for 705 yards, 5 tutties, 1 INT. You look at his 2022 season, that's really what you have to judge it off of. 2022, this guy was a real deal. 66% of his passes he completed, over 2,000 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, 4 INTs, and he returns to Kansas, again, expected to be the starter. I think this is where we see our first B quarterback. I think Jalen Daniels, again, can be a higher level quarterback depending on the weapons around him. But I think he has got what it takes to be a B quarterback for sure in this conference.
I think the only issues are the back problems.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of hindered him recently. But, I mean, you got to imagine a guy like that's coming back trying to prove that back is not for that big of a problem. Was he with Kansas for that season? Has he been Kansas his whole career, or was that 2,000-yard season somewhere else? I'm trying to figure that out right now.
Let's see. I can tell you if this will load.
Because I'm not opposed to throwing him in B. I'm not opposed because if we're looking at like a full, complete season, he probably has the best one that we've seen out of the non-S A guys.
Yeah, I believe that was at
with Kansas. Okay. So it's really just the
back.
Wait,
let's see. 2020.
2022.
Oh, no, he's been everywhere.
Okay.
I believe. Let's see.
2022.
2022. Started at quarterback for the Jayhawks.
Okay,
yeah.
So he's been around there for a little bit. This will be his 3rd year in Kansas. And you'd have to imagine he's not happy with how last season went. Hopefully his back is healed and healthy. I'm willing to put him in B, but if we throw somebody else in B, I might need to bump them down just because of the back issue problem. Yeah. That's something that I don't hear about a lot of quarterbacks overcoming some pretty major back issues.
Yeah.
So I'm good with B with where we got him right now.
Okay, let's do Oklahoma State next. Okay. Oklahoma State's an interesting one.
Gundy left.
No, but Alan Bowman is there. And if you hate your 7th-year seniors, this guy has been playing college football since 2018.
My God.
2018, he threw for 2,600 yards. And here we are in 2023 where he threw for 3,460 yards. Slated to be probably the guy for Oklahoma State going into 2024. This is a bit larger quarterback, 6'4", 209. He's got that experience. Last year, the big issue with him was turnovers. 14 INTs, gave it away pretty consistently. With that said, though, I think Alan Bowman is a surefire top of the B-tier quarterback just because of, again, the experience he's had, multiple seasons throwing for over 1,000 yards, multiple seasons throwing for over 2,500 yards. To have 3,400 passing yards last year is something special, especially at this level.
Yeah, the 14 interceptions, though, is just eye-popping.
That hurts.
15 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. He was a little bit of not a victim, I guess. I might be going too far, of a really weird quarterback situation over there where, like, they wouldn't commit early. Like, remember
that was weird.
When they played ASU, I think they played all 3 quarterbacks.
Yep, and ASU lost.
And he still put together 3,460 yards. Like, again, the 14 interceptions still, I can't look past that. But can we get a job tier? Can we throw a get a job tier? Because I would love to have a get a job tier. I'm cool with you said top of B?
Yeah, I would say top of B.
No disagreements here. I have a feeling I'm not going to disagree with you too much. I don't have the strongest takes on all the Big 12 quarterbacks. As long as it makes sense to me, I'm good, and that makes sense. He might have potential though if he gets those turnovers down.
Yeah.
Bump up to A by the end of this next season. And then, of course, when he comes for his 10th season, he's going to get a nice plaque. And then his 25th anniversary season.
They're just going to move him to coach at some point. At some point, he's just going to transition over.
I think he should just keep applying for eligibility because obviously the NCAA has no idea what's going on. And they'll deny it for somebody who actually needs it. And they'll give it to somebody who should be in accounting.
Who's been playing forever.
Yeah. Open up your car dealership already, Alan. The Alan Bowman, I'm not going to say a brand, no free ads center.
Oh, my gosh. Let's go ahead. Let's roll with Houston. Houston's got Donovan Smith, another really exciting quarterback prospect. Last year for Houston, completed 64% of his passes, 22 touchdowns, 13 INTs. He is a large quarterback, 6'5", 241.
I think he's the biggest one so far.
Biggest one so far. He does have experience as well. I believe he'll be a rising senior. In all 3 seasons that he has played thus far in college football, he's had a quarterback rating of above 133. This guy is a consistent quarterback. He's a big quarterback. I think if he had better weapons at Houston, I think he could be a legit threat. But because he doesn't necessarily have those weapons, I think that his ceiling is probably low A, which is why I'm going to start him in the B tier.
Okay.
I like him.
But is this just are we just talking about the quarterback, or are we talking
about
the whole
I feel
situation?
Like, I think he's got potential to be A, but I don't think he's A now.
Okay.
That's where I'm at with this
I would
list.
say he's definitely top of B, though.
You put him over your 7th year?
I would.
Over Granddad Bowman?
Because not only is he not a grandfather already and getting his Social Security checks in the mail, but also size-wise, and I mean, he's been consistent as well. And as far as turnovers go, he has more touchdowns, significantly like less turnover to touchdown ratio than before. Plus, he's been doing it for a little bit. Like back when he was on Texas Tech, he was still slinging it. He had 1,600 yards in offense in 2022, 12 passing touchdowns in 12 games. Like he's not great, but I don't think that if I were to build a team, I would choose Alan Bowman over him.
That's fair. We can go ahead and put him then at the top of, what did we say? B?
B.
Yeah, I can live with that.
I agree. I'm not ready to go A.
No,
I'm just not there with him yet.
I mean, that's fair. That's totally
He
fair.
attended Friendship with no D. Friendship High School, not Friendship.
Friendship?
Friendship.
That's not a place. It's not a real place. You know what I've noticed?
What?
Big 12 had a lot of quarterbacks who all love college football just enough to continue playing until they're in their mid-20s. Here's another one. Let's go ahead and start talking about Baylor's DeQuan Finn transferring over from Toledo. He's been playing college football since 2019. So we're getting closer to Alan Bowman over here, okay? And he only classifies as a junior, which makes no sense to me.
What is going on?
Because of the
dude?
COVID years. The COVID years throw everything up. But from 2021, 2,000 pass yards. 2022, 2,000 pass yards. 2023, 2,000 pass yards.
Not even that, but he's been going up. 2,067, 2,260, then 2,650. So I guess some things do get better with age.
They do. And if I'm not mistaken, I watched him play when Toledo took on Notre Dame. Played a decent game. And again, you want to talk about a quarterback, their touchdown to INT margin. He scores a lot more touchdowns than he turns it over. And to make things even a little sweeter, he's not the most dynamic quarterback in the world, but if he needs to escape the pocket, he can. I kind of want to put him.
A?
This is tough, man. I feel like there's so many B-level quarterbacks in this conference.
I agree. I guess we're splitting hairs whether it's bottom of A, but B's
what
getting kind of
separate?
crowded.
Why would you argue bottom A? And I'll listen to it. But why would you argue?
I mean, at this point, we are splitting hairs. But like you said, like 22 touchdowns, 9 interceptions last season. Like consistently, his numbers have gotten better over the last 3 years. He's had more attempts. He upgrades his completion percentage as he upgrades his attempts and his yards. The only thing that has not gotten better year over year is 1 year he jumped up to 12 interceptions. After in 2021, he only had 2. He had 18 touchdowns to 2 interceptions on over 250 attempts. In 2021, that's a crazy line. He had 23 touchdowns, so 5 more touchdowns, but 10 more interceptions. But then it went back down. He's shown improvement.
My only thing with him is the competition.
Yeah, that's fair.
Playing at Toledo.
That's fair. I get that. I just, college football is college football. At some point, like to continue to be better and better and better, I think that's impressive to me. Look, I'll be honest with you, we can go B. I don't really care that much. I am not a DeQuan Finn. Like, I'm not going to die on this hill. Like, that's
I think
just
we could
not
put
me.
him right in between Houston and Oklahoma State.
Yeah,
I think that fits.
That's fine. That's fine. I think it's a serious conversation between him
too.
and Jalen.
I do.
But I'm okay with that.
You can sleep easy at night knowing.
You know what? Maybe I can sleep easy.
Okay.
I don't know if I can. So
all good. We'll put him in between. Right there. And it's okay because we're going to get our next A-level quarterback right here. We're going and talking Iowa State. Okay.
Ooh.
Rocco Becht.
A name.
Sorry,
S-tier name.
Rocco, R-O-C-C-O, Iowa State quarterback, was a freshman last season at Iowa State. He had him bowling. Threw for 3,000 passing yards, 23 tutties, 8 INTs. I mean, realistically, you don't see this level of production from a freshman.
So hard.
From a freshman with a name like that.
I kind of want to go S tier. I don't know, dude.
Stop it.
Like potential wise, man.
I would put him right behind Noah Fifita at Arizona. I'm excited to see what they do.
That's the right and the smart move, but I'm just staring at the name Rocco Becht, and I can't think anything but S tier.
It's such a good name. I love the names in college football. They're just so damn good.
College athletics has overall some of the greatest names, and bowl season and then the tournaments is when you just hear some random ass dude and you're like, that's the greatest name I've ever heard in my entire life. And then you tune in the next game, you're like, that's the greatest name I've ever heard in my entire life. I remember the first time I heard Taco Fall.
Taco Fall was a phenomenal name.
Oh,
are you kidding me?
Great. Okay, I put him end of A. Even though I can't stop staring at the name Rocco.
Are you gonna name your kid Rocco after?
No.
You don't like that name?
Actually, I can't lie. Rocco Ruby does kind of go.
Rocco
hard.
Ruby goes
Rocco
crazy.
Ruby kind of goes crazy.
Oh my god!
I can't lie. It kind of goes nuts.
That's insane, dude.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's a professional wrestler, man.
That dude's got to do something.
Or
cool.
Like a professional bowler, like Rocco Ruby.
Rocco Ruby
hit a sick 9-10 split.
That dude just hits dingers in the cages. That's what he does.
Or he's a crazy punter.
Or he's
maybe I do. Maybe I just need to name the kid Rocco and just let him try a bunch of different sports and just see whichever one he takes to, because he'll get a look. He's got to look good in shorts and have the name Rocco, and he'll get an NFL Combine invite.
Absolutely, he's a beast. All right, let's go ahead. Let's do West Virginia here.
Okay.
Ray Anderson's favorite.
I was about to say.
Talk Garrett Green, another great name. I know it's simple, but Garrett Green, I just like
not following up on Rocco, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Got a lot of experience as well. Was playing college football back in 2020, the whole pandemic fun thing. In 2023, completed 52% of his passes, threw for 2,400 yards, 16 TDs, 4 INTs at West Virginia. 5'11", 202. He's got the experience. He doesn't blow me away from a talent standpoint. If you turn on the tape, it's a lot of the same thing. It's a B-level quarterback that has maybe his star-level potential would be low A, but I find it really, really tough to put a guy, again, that only completed 52% of his passes.
Okay.
Oh, are you going to make a fight for him?
I'm not necessarily going to disagree with the ranking, but I do have to tell you. This last season, 12 games played, he had 772 rushing yards. He had multiple games of over 100 rushing yards per game. His longest was 48. He had 13 rushing touchdowns. He averaged 6.4 yards per carry. Over 120 attempts in 12 games. With 13 touchdowns.
He's Zach Wilson.
He's the best runner on this list.
He is the best runner on this list.
I mean, I don't know what Shedeur Sanders' running stats were from last season and rushing. I don't know if he had 13 touchdowns on 770
yards. So we
yards.
Can put Garrett in the B tier. The question is, where do you want to put him? I mean, it's a beautiful note you held there.
I think
top B, Garrett Green.
I know. I'm looking at 772 rushing yards, bro.
Oh my god!
What do you think? Okay, we're splitting hairs. Are you having him like towards the end, towards the middle?
I mean those rushing numbers are pretty crazy.
That's nuts. 13 touchdowns, 772 yards on 120 attempts, 6.4 yards per carry.
I'd put him right behind Houston.
Okay,
right behind Houston. I'm pretty comfortable with where we're at though. Right here, we got 4 schools left: Arizona State, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, and UCF. Do you want to go anywhere specific with this list?
Let's jump UCF.
UCF, that's exactly where I was.
Great minds think alike.
I mean, UCF. Is anybody going to forget that UCF was national champions, back in 2017?
Never forget, man. Never forget.
2017, right?
They have a banner for it and everything.
The quarterback situation, to my understanding, at UCF is going to be a little bit interesting moving into 2024.
Enlighten me.
From what I can tell, John Rise Plumlee, another dude who's been playing college football for, it seems like eternity.
He was probably on the national championship team,
2019 he was playing. Which, was that the year?
I think it...
It might have been the year, because that's the year they had to play LSU, wasn't it?
I'm looking up UCF national championship.
I think that was the year that they had to play.
And that's 2017. UCF finished number 1 in the Cola Matrix, recognized by the NCAA championship selector at FBS level. They claimed the title. Undefeated in 2017.
The funny thing about this kid is he was a wide receiver at Ole Miss. And now he was set to be the quarterback last year at UCF. I do believe that he is returning.
They were ranked,
UCF.
but they weren't they weren't like incredible in 2019. They're like
Were they? What was the year they were undefeated?
That was 2017.
Okay. Well, yeah.
He was probably somewhere else in college football playing his 15th year by that point. God, get a fucking job.
These guys play forever. Forever. Okay. Look, we are going to continue with him as the starter at UCF, assuming that he's the one to get the job, and assuming he's got enough eligibility to continue to go back, because I can't see otherwise that he's not going to be the guy for UCF in 2024. But in terms of what he did last year for the Knights, 6 foot, 200 pounds, threw for over 2,000 yards, 15 tutties, 8 INTs, pretty similar numbers to what he did in 2022, which makes me believe that he has kind of reached his peak, which is about 2,500 yards, 15 tutties, 8 INTs. The question is that good enough to lead UCF to any sort of, competitive bowl game in the Big 12? I don't think so. This is also a guy who does like to take off and run, averages about 14 carries per game, which feels like a lot for a guy only rushing for about 70 yards a game.
Yeah.
I almost want to put him in the C tier.
That's what I was kind of thinking too. I think a lot of the guys in B have a lot more potential than him. I think he kind of is who he is. And for those joining us late, we're ranking quarterbacks, not just the teams.
Yeah.
Just want to make that clear. I am perfectly fine with C. Top of C? That's the real question.
I'll let you pick. You could pick that one.
2,000 yards, 15 and 8. We'll go middle. We'll go middle.
We'll go in the middle there.
We'll go. We'll go C. We'll go top of C. Top of C. It just didn't feel right.
Okay.
Sharon says go Cincinnati next because the black spot is bugging me.
Okay,
like mild OCD.
We
Sorry. This is Cincinnati, by the way. I'm going to put it in D for now just so that people can see the Cincinnati C.
Oh, my goodness. Now, I'm looking at Cincinnati's quarterback, and this is another weird thing. So they had, I guess, a really prominent quarterback commit, Evan Prater, who they changed his position. He moved from quarterback to wide receiver last year.
Okay. The opposite of Reese Plumlee.
It's a very weird situation because from what I can tell, by all accounts, this was a really, really good quarterback. He was a talented kid. He was like Mr. Ohio, 6'4", 208. Like, he had all the intangibles to be a legit quarterback at the college level, and they opted to move him. But taking a look at the quarterback position for the Bearcats, let's go ahead and see. I know they had the pleasure of Emory Jones being the starting quarterback last season. Kind of looking at their roster this year, heading into the spring, in terms of quarterbacks, they still have Emory Jones on the roster as a redshirt senior. I don't believe he has any eligibility left. Same with Jack Perry, a guy who was a redshirt senior again. That leaves them with a redshirt sophomore and Jacob Hoeing, Brady Dragish, who was a freshman, Will Kosher, who was a freshman, Brady Littenberg, who's a redshirt sophomore. Again, from everything I can see, they don't have a proven starter. They're going to be going into the spring with a full-on quarterback competition unless Emory Jones or Jack Perry got extra eligibility, which I don't believe they did. And
are we looking at our first D?
I think we might be looking at our first D.
I put D just for fun, just so we could see it. But I guess I was just predicting the future.
I don't like any of these guys that are going to be.
Nobody's proven. Nobody has really put anything out there. I can't confidently give a take on Brady Dragish. I don't know about you.
I know I've never heard of the kid.
Right.
So again, if I've never heard of any
D.
of these guys, it is, and some of these guys can definitely surprise you. But still, I'm not sold.
Bulletin board material.
Yeah, just not really. Moving on though,
Texas Tech.
We'll do Texas Tech. Kind of looking at their quarterback position. First thing I can see is that they've got a class of 2024 kid, who, again, by all accounts, should be the starter going into next year, which would be crazy. Will Hammond. This is a kid that, again, from everything that I can tell, will be the guy for Texas Tech next season. 30 touchdowns, 5 INTs in his final year in high school.
I'm looking at this dude's picture. He looks 12.
He does look 12, but he also kind of looks 30. He kind of looks 30.
He looks 12
going on 30.
But he's been through some shit.
12 going on 30.
Like he was a coal mine kid. Like that's like kid. He looks like he has been putting in hard labor for 10 out of his 12 years.
Good Lord. Look, Will Hammond was recruited by Texas Tech, obviously, Auburn, Houston, Oklahoma State. There were Oregon, Penn State, Tennessee. A lot of guys, a lot of big-time schools tried to go after him. Again, I haven't seen him play. Class of 2024 kid, nobody's really seen him play at this level. I think just because of that, we do kind of have to put him in either bottom of C or top of D.
I think bottom of C. I feel like none of the guys over in Cincinnati, I guess, had the pedigree. But at the same time, now that I'm saying it,
It's a true freshman.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I was trying to be nice.
Hey, who knows? Maybe we'll see Jalen Conyers at quarterback for Texas Tech. You never know. You never know.
If that's the case, top of A tier. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, my goodness. Okay, we've got Arizona State.
These guys.
It's how do we want to play this? Do we want to play with Jaden Rashada as the quarterback?
I think you have to.
I think we have to as well.
Maybe we can combine them together.
Oh, he's both their quarterbacks?
Both of them.
Frankenstein?
I'm going to be honest with you here.
I'll hear your pitch on it.
My heart says B, but we haven't really seen a lot out of him. And I think that if we were looking at it from a different perspective, if this was like the DNVR Buffs show and we were ranking this, I don't think Rashada would go above C. I think personally he's going to end up top B, maybe low A at the end of this next season if everything goes right with Kenny. But based off of what we've seen, I don't know if I can realistically argue him outside of C. What do you think? Or I could put my homer hat on and just say, fuck it, and put him in like B or A.
I think he is either top C or bottom B. I think that is where I'm at with him. And again, a lot of it is how he comes back from the injury, how he grows in year 2. It's tough. I think if you put him in bottom B, I can live with that. I can live with bottom B. Just based off of the pure potential that I've seen from Jaden Rashada, I think he can be as good as all those other guys. I think he's as good as Alan Bowman, DeQuan Finn. I think he's as good as those guys.
I don't disagree with you. We've actually seen them do it for a full season.
That's fair.
That's the only thing with me. I'll do it because I'm not trying to piss Donald off when he comes back and listens to this. Yeah. Short Bus says C only because we haven't seen enough of either, but he will be B if he stays healthy. That's the thing is we kind of are we doing this based off of what we think they're going to do next season? This is probably something we shouldn't be discussing at the very end of this. Is this what we're doing based off of what we think they're going to do next season or of what we've seen in the past?
Just going into this year.
Going into this year.
Well, do you think Arizona State with Jaden Rashada is in a better spot than UCF with their quarterback?
I do. Bottom B, I'm willing to do it because fuck it. Why not?
Also,
Sharon says top of S. I love you, Sharon, but I'm sorry.
There is also Short Bus in the chat. I totally spaced on this. Brennan Sorsby is transferring.
But he wasn't cold like that, was
he? No, he wasn't cold like that. He threw for 1,500 passing yards, 5 INTs, 15 touchdowns. He was a freshman last year at Indiana. I don't know if he's D. I would probably say he's C.
And a C.
Is that Cincinnati or Texas Tech?
What do you mean?
Is Sorsby transferring? Let's see. He transferred to...
I think...
He transferred to Cincinnati.
To Cincy.
Yeah, I can take that. Yeah, and Texas Tech is where Texas Tech is. Jeez, the dudes that I own from the Texas Tech podcast are going to really, really hate that. For everybody on audio, we're going to go through these rankings just one more time so you know. We'll start from D all the way up to S. The worst team in terms of the quarterback rankings here. Texas Tech, eat your heart out, Red Raiders. In the C tier, the worst to best in the C tier, we have Cincinnati, BYU, Kansas State, TCU, and UCF. In the B tier, going from the worst to the best, we have Arizona State, Kansas, Oklahoma State, Baylor, West Virginia, and Houston. In the A tier, again, worst to best, we have Iowa State and Arizona. Then in the S tier, we have Colorado and Utah.
To be clear, if Rashada was healthy this whole season, he would not be end of B. He'd
No,
probably
I
be top
agree.
of B, end of A.
I
But
agree.
like that's just the reality that we live in.
Yeah, no, I'm totally with you on that. Guys, if you are in the chat, hit the comments. Let us know what you think of this Big 12 quarterback tier list. Again, hit that like button.